What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria and today I'll be showing you guys how I made this Tailor's ham. So the first thing we're going to do is to cut out a circle. There's no measurement for this, just cut out a circle. You can make yours as wide as you want. So I just used a bowl and I drew a circle around it, and now I'm going to measure the diameter of this circle. So mine gave me 6.5. So the next thing we're going to do is to determine the circumference of the circle, and the formula for that is diameter times pi. My diameter is 6.5. Multiplied that with 3.14 gave me approximately 20.47. So I divided that number by 4 and it gave me approximately 5 inches. So I'll use that 5 inches to create the second pattern for this tutorial. So right now I'm trying to create a rectangle using 5 inches as the width. So now that I'm done with that, it's time to determine the length of my rectangle. So I'll be going with 6 inches, but you can decide to make yours longer. It's totally up to you. So I'm just going to mark 6 inches for my length. So I'm just tracing out my rectangle with a marker so you guys can clearly see it before going ahead to cut it out. So now that that's done, we're going to determine the midpoint of both sides. So my width was 5 inches, the midpoint of that is 2.5, so I'm going to mark 2.5 for the width and 3 inches for the length. So right now I'm just indicating which side is which, because at this point they were both looking the same to me. And now I'm marking the midpoint of the length, and I'm going to do it on both sides. So right now we're going to create a triangle by connecting the midpoint of the length to that of the width. You can see I'm not using a straight ruler to do this. That's because I don't want the edges to be very sharp. So now it's time to cut it out. And we're done with the second pattern. So right now I'm dividing my circle into 4 different segments so I can demonstrate to you guys how we're going to be attaching the 2 pieces together. So this is how it will be attached. This also means that I will need to cut 4 different pieces of this triangle. So right now I've gone ahead and cut out all my pieces, but I added 1/2 inch allowance to the triangle and the circle. I also cut out lining for both. And like I said before, I needed to cut 4 pieces of the triangle, which is what I did. So we're going to separate the pieces so that we have 2 pairs of each. Then we'll take it to the sewing machine and sew from the bottom to the tip of the triangle using a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and we'll do the same for the lining. So I'm done stitching both pairs of the fabric and the lining. Be sure to make sure you're stitching right sides facing each other, and this is what it looks like after stitching. So we're going to open it up and pin them right sides facing each other, and then I'm going to match the seams, pin it down before taking it to the machine, and I'll sew from one end to another. And we'll do the same for the lining as well. So guys, I'm done stitching, and this is what it looks like. Kind of looks like a cap. And I also did the same for the lining. This is what it looks like. So what's left to do is to attach the circle to this, right sides facing each other. So I'm going to take this to the machine and I'm going to sew, but then I won't sew all the way. I'm going to leave out a little space so I can fill in my scrap fabrics. So I already cut out fabric pieces I'm no longer using, so I'm going to fill it up with those. And this is how it looks like after filling it up. Make sure to stuff it, like really stuff it up so it can be firm. So right now I'm just going to hand stitch that opening. So what's left to do is to cover it up with the fabric. So right now I'm just going to take this to the machine and stitch it together, right sides facing each other. Not all the way though, I'm just going to stitch it halfway through. And now it's time to cover it up. So like I did for the lining, I'm also going to hand stitch the opening I left, and that will be all. So guys, this is what it looks like. I'm actually happy about how it turned out though, because I wasn't really sure in the beginning. This is my first time making something like this, but I'm glad I did, and it didn't turn out so bad. So I hope you found this tutorial useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and see you in my next video.